Boom. It's official. Welcome, everybody, or the two people that have shown up so far. Wednesday, December 4th, 2024. We are here with the year end episode of Camera and Flask. I'm Jem Schofield, Ben Barden, Caleb Pike, partners in crime, and great to see you guys. We've seen each other for a whole 4 minutes before this episode started. So, how's everybody doing with the sound of sirens? Sounds like
Sorry about
those
that.
sound
That was
like
me.
those sound like no. I said those sound like Illinois sirens. Those are not from the Czech Republic. I could tell by the way
I'm
there.
Right.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean,
They had Chicago
I'm not there.
vibes, kind of. Even though you're not, they kind of had that, urban feel to them.
Hmm.
All right, gents. So how are we doing? What's going on? Oh wow. Okay, it's early December.
It's the middle of the night. I'm
Yeah.
kind of, it'll take me a minute just to kind of. I was ready to go to bed 10 minutes ago, so I've just got to ramp up.
Wake it
5
up.
minutes, I'll be there. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay, good. Well, good to see you. And hey,
David?
the Davids. This is our
Oh, yeah.
year-end episode of Cameron Flask, and this is where we talk about some of our favorite equipment from the year. We're going to have a little trivia contest towards the end of the episode where we're going to be giving away some prizes courtesy of B&H Photo Video. And I think we start Cameron Flask with the flask. So what are we drinking today, gentlemen? Who's going first? Just tell me, and then you get the full screen effect. Who is it? Let's go.
I'll go first. It's
All right,
really
boom.
boring. Super
Okay.
boring. Embarrassing
Ooh.
for the end of the year, but I'll come back
No.
strong maybe in January. It's a Yeti with water. Really
It's a
exciting
Yeti with
stuff.
water.
Gonna
Oh, that's
hydrate
okay.
and
Look.
yeah.
Look,
Yeah.
I have the same Yeti,
What do we got?
or similar. This one's a Westcott
Oh, yeah?
one that they sent
This
me,
one,
but I think it's the same.
Cassie and I
similar?
have. Oh,
Is
you got
that
a
it?
branded one, huh?
I don't.
The-
well, yeah.
Yeah, just the not little guy, but not the giant one.
Does it
But
have
these
like
things
this
are
plastic
great.
insert?
Yeah, so there's two ways to
Sorry,
open it. You can
nobody
do
can
the
see me. Dang
drinking
it.
out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Yep. I think yours is bigger. Well,
It
looks
that's
a
what they
little-
say, but
it's
you
about
know,
the same,
I
yeah.
didn't say that. You did, not me. And what's the other way you can open it? What? I have no idea what you're saying.
and then you can, if you got some soup or something, or you want to fill it up, you can
dang.
open up.
Ah,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay,
But
that's pretty
these are great
fancy.
because
First
you go
time.
to an airport. I've been using like a strawed glass, but these are great because they can roll around in a
Yeah.
vehicle, and they're a weapon. Like if
No, I was just about to say, if
give
you get
that
pissed off with somebody,
somebody on
that's
the
exactly what I was
head,
just thinking.
that's
Yeah.
a huge,
That is solid
huge
welt.
defense. Yeah, and it's legal in airports. So
All right. Well, there we go.
yeah,
Mr. Barden, what are you having today, sir?
Not water today.
Okay.
So this, because I'm
It's
not
opposite
in the
day.
Czech Republic. Yeah, it is opposite day. I'm in the UK at the moment, so I'm at my mum's house, and I've just found this in the cupboard. So she has this friend who has all these
is
weird...
the 19th century kid snorting coke behind you, or is that picture somewhere?
I'm in
a different room?
I'm in the kitchen today rather than the dining room.
Sorry about that. I just remember
That's
that
okay.
picture. Okay, so show this to us again. I apologize. I'm back, Ben. I'm back. Okay, here we
Okay.
go. Ooh, duty free. Ooh, I like this.
Duty-free sample, not for
Mr.
sale.
JB Smiley.
Yeah. So that's an ad
So
bag.
this is a scotch of some kind.
Yes, it's whiskey from 1992. And I
Mm.
don't know if you can see the
Ooh.
dregs in the bottom of it. There's bits of the barrel still kind of
Oh,
floating around in this
nice.
something.
Mm.
So she has a friend who's kind of a whiskey dealer for all kinds of weird, obscure things. People who bought barrels as investments and they turned out not to be necessarily great investments,
Oh.
but are still full of really good whiskey, and kind of goes around and sells these things. So that's what I'm drinking, and goodness only
Interesting.
knows.
Is it a scotch or just a whiskey?
No, it'll be a single malt from Ardbeg, but I don't know anything else about it.
Okay.
That's
So it's
literally
a-
what
it's
is
a
on that
scotch.
label is my...
Beautiful. All
Wow.
right. Well, I'm going to I just grabbed something from the shelf. We're going with an Oregon broken top. This is cast strength. I'm not going to have a lot. I'm telling you guys right now because there is a first basketball game of the season today for my boy. So when we're done here, I'm going to do a quick daily drop, and then I'm going to head on out and drive up towards wherever
Start
the school
punching
is that
other
they're playing.
dads in the middle of a basketball court. Get carried
Right
out.
here. I'll be bringing this. Don't worry about
There you
it.
go.
It's all good. So okay, well, let's just do a cheers to 2024, and let's just decide that 2025 is going to be better than 2024. It might have been great for you, but you can always do better. And cheers to everybody who's here. Sully,
Cheers.
Brandon, the Davids, Ding Dong, good Jeff, Brad, everybody. It's good to have everybody.
Good as you all.
All right, I'll go easy on that. That's probably needs a little water, but that's a different discussion. Good. Well, we are here. Caleb is glassless from here on out, it appears. I'm going to have to talk to you a little bit more about this in the nearish future. I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm an older man than you, but
interested?
You're way too old for that. Nah.
That's the end of that discussion, and we move on.
And Ben decides.
Yeah, it's over. He's already made the decision.
They told me I was too old for it, so you definitely are.
Wow. Okay. And we keep going. Ding Dong says, man robbed his mom's cough syrup, which I'm assuming is your drink over there. Sam, good to have you here.
Oh, yeah.
Brad's already booked NAB show flight and hotel. Wow. Okay, Brad. I don't know where I stand on this right now because I don't think I'm doing.
Sorry to interrupt. Good to see you, Cassie. She's in the chat and she says, my daughter's watching, so let's keep it Gee
whiz. Okay. Just don't read the chat. That's all I'm saying. I'm going to keep it clean. So I don't know what's happening with NAB. It doesn't look like my workshop is going to happen. I just got an email today, at least the kind that we've done in the past. Things are changing, that's okay, but it's definitely changing. So there you go. Have you decided, gents, if there's even thoughts of that, or maybe we just go with the Oregon or bust kind of idea?
Yeah.
Oregon. That's kind of where things are.
Yeah, I think so.
That appeals more, to be honest, at the moment.
I would go if there was something work related, but I don't think I'm just going to head down to Vegas just to look at more gear. We're in an interesting place right now. I mean, I would love to hear from the chat if anybody bought any significant things over the I don't even know what we call it anymore. There's no Black Friday. It's the entire month of November and the first 3 weeks of December. It feels like it's just a continuous, things are on sale type of thing.
It's sale time 2024.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just wondering if anybody made any significant purchases. I did a couple of software things. I actually purchased the Topaz Labs because we're doing a project. Well, we're doing a project right now where we're using stills and video, and there's going to be a fair amount of stuff that's going to come in that's either low res or is a little more archival. So we're definitely going to have to spend some time, especially on the stills. I think we're going to get a lot of old stills from things. So we're going to need to up-res them. And the AI algorithms are many in those different gigapixel photo AI, video AI. There's many options, and I was playing around with it. Some are definitely better for certain footage than others. But I made that purchase. And not a lot of other stuff, just a few things for Christmas presents, but I'm just interested to see if anybody,
Some bits, but I've just, when you were flicking through your prop pictures, I spotted one of the things that I bought recently, or bought in the last few days. So I'll
Hmm.
wait, and we'll discuss that at the time, because
Yeah.
that also has a little piggyback product with it too.
I'm sorry that went over Ben's face, but look, Camille, super chat,
Nice.
€5 for the booze. I really appreciate that, Camille, and thank you so much for the support, and thank you everybody
very
for all
much.
your engagement on the channel and for being here and all that good stuff. So, did either of you make any purchases that we won't save for later in the episode? And the same for people here in the chat. Brad's making some posts of some of the stuff that he purchased, but anybody?
Ding
No.
purchased 2 R5Cs.
Whoa!
I didn't purchase anything.
Wow. Okay.
I nearly bought a second R5C, and then I got gold feet.
Got it. And then David bought the Aperture 80C, but not as a deal buy. But he pre-ordered that. But, and then I don't know what the but is. The 80C is the new, it's the Blair plus cyan green. So it's basically like the Storm 1200X, but it's their full color version for projected color light. So they're taking the same Blair engine, and then they're adding cyan and green, and then that's their full color. So it will match the X versions, but will also have additional LEDs in it, so that the projected light, not reflected light, but projected color light is as accurate as they can make it right now. So yeah, so there is a difference between the two. You know, the reflected light is what the camera is obviously capturing, and that's what the X version is focused on, is the best possible white light that is being projected, and then we're seeing the reflection of that, and then hopefully the end result is that, especially when we're talking about 3200 and 5600 Kelvin, that we're getting results that are, you know, sort of where we would have hoped they would have been a long time ago when it came to LED technology. So closer to an HMI on daylight, or actual daylight from Mother Nature, or like a quartz halogen, you know, like a tungsten-based fixture. So it's interesting. But the 80C is this little 80-watt version of the light. They also came out with and announced the 1000C. So they have a 1000 color unit, and then they have the 1200X. So I think it's pretty interesting.
Super cool.
Yeah. So, no, the reason I'm the brown that Caleb looks thinner, I mean, he does. He looks svelte, but I think, you know, unlike the olden days when Caleb had tiny little glasses, and, you know, we know about this, or I do, he got bigger glasses, kind of like, you know, so he kind of looked like a, you know, like an English thug or something like that. Now he's kind of like no glasses. He's just hanging out. He didn't look like an English
Mr.
thug.
Clean.
He never could. Yeah, I like it. It's good. People are saying you look trim, and you know.
Oh, stop it!
It's a good thing. You know, it's.
I feel very squinty, like I'm just this squinty bald guy.
Yeah, well, nobody look at Ben. I don't know who you paid, Ben, to have this lovely head of hair over here. You know, but you did okay. I gotta say.
I don't know. Maternal grandfathers apparently is where you get your hair from. I don't know if that's true, but
did he have golden locks that would just, like, you know, in the wind they would just blow around, or
which is where I got my golden locks from. Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Exactly. I was waiting for that. Okay, good. All right. So, Canadian. Who's Canadian? Nobody's Canadian here. Ono's here. Sully's here. Okay. So here's a question. So put in at the C47, or you can just do a shout out like you did, Camille. DSLR video shooter. You posted another video yesterday, had a sabbatical last period, focused on other challenges. I guess he's just asking about the, I don't want to say the time between episodes, because your focus is different now, right?
Kind
Caleb?
of. Yeah. In 2025, I'd like to get back into making more videos more regularly. took a nice break and focused on Camera Foundry. Have been enjoying that, but I'm ready to get back into the saddle and make some videos. So yeah,
Nice.
did one yesterday on the audio setup I'm using now, and then yeah, I've got a bunch, maybe ones that aren't going to be big like camera videos, just stuff I'm nerding out over. So
Good. Cool.
So yeah, we'll be talking about a couple of those things today.
Are you finding that the space that you're in, Caleb, is changing a lot because of your focus now? Is it a different type of space? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot less. It's a lot more like what you can see behind me. Building, of course, I look like terrible, at least from my preview here. I don't know why everything
Something
went
happened.
to not good. But building stations that are just really make it faster, like back there, that white light in the background, that's my top-down setup, which I need to do a video on. But just these stations that are just turnkey. Press one button, everything turns on, film, get out. And then the rest of it's more kind of like shop, more behind the scenes. I'm not trying to have it super clean, everything. Just like my last video, you guys probably noticed, is pretty. I'm just chilling in a room talking, no clean backgrounds or anything like that. So yeah,
that's cool. I like. Cool. David bought a double-decker trolley cart to carry gear around, save my back and some back and forth from the car. That's good. A little Lava Cat reference there. There we go.
Yep, still on back order.
All right, good. How about you, Ben? Have you been traveling? I know you're in England now. You're not back home. Are you there for work, family? What's the deal, Leo?
Bit of both, mainly work. I've got a week of just kind of running errands, catching up with old friends that I haven't seen for a long time, because I normally come here, work, and then go home. So I'm having a fairly relaxed week this week, catching up with some things, and then I've got 2 fairly intense weeks of shooting from next week after, and then back to Czech, and then more offshore stuff. That's kind of been quite a big thing this year. So lots of working on boats, which has its ups and downs.
Yeah, and this time of year, and the weather must be great, right?
I heard it.
Yeah, December, January, it's going to be potentially quite good fun. So I've got another 3-weeker coming up in the new year. Got to go skiing after Christmas.
Nice,
very nice.
All right,
where at?
Austria. With my neighbors.
It's gonna be pretty.
Everyone,
sounds scary, but pretty.
No, it's amazing. There's a gang of us in the village. We drive there through the night, get to Austria for first lifts opening in the morning, shots in the car park, and the day skiing, and then 3 days of that, 3-4 days.
Wow,
very nice.
Good for you.
All right.
Yeah, be good.
There you go.
Come over sometime. We'll go.
Very nice. Very nice.
Sounds great.
Mike got a GH7 and the XLR2. Nate's film tutorials. Hey, Nate. Good to have you here.
What's up, Nate?
How's it going? Good. We got some other cast of characters here, which is nice. Well, good. So everybody sounds like they're doing stuff. I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, Caleb. It was busy in my neck of the woods. So that's done. And then it feels
17 turkeys or something.
Yeah, something like that. We did three turkeys, 2 hams. I didn't make the hams.
Oh my goodness.
It all worked out. They're all gone. By Sunday, it was all, when you make turkey pot pies and turkey soup and Thanksgiving sandwiches, they don't last long. And you send stuff home with people too. But it was all good. All right, Brad's stepping in. Hot take topic. Do any of you have any comments regarding the recent filmmaker versus YouTuber discourse that's been happening on social media? I don't know anything about that. Tell me about that. I would love to hear about it. I don't know what the discourse is, but I guess, it's the age-old discussion. Are you a filmmaker if you're not making quote-unquote films? If that's what they're still called, movies, maybe we call them. But I don't know. We're telling stories, creating content, and I couldn't give a and then I have to edit myself. We're keeping this G-rated, but there you go. So I don't know, Brad, but I'm kind of tired of it anyway. I don't think it makes any difference whatsoever. It has no relevance in anybody's lives, to be honest with you. People are going to do what they're doing, and they're either going to find an audience or they're not. And some people are going to be contentious and just sort of like to stir the pot, and other people are just getting on with talking about the things that they're interested in talking about. And I guess this is what makes the world go round. That's all I got to say about that. If you guys want to step in on anything having to do with that, but it's sort of a waste of time.
No.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Great job.
Exactly that. Yeah.
All right, cool. Nice. Thanks, Sully. This is just really being used for like tutorial or instructional videos, and then we'll go back to the other one. I hear you, Ono, on that. Oh, I see. Yeah, who cares? I don't know. All right, good. So let's talk about equipment, because we love to do that.
Yeah.
And even though we don't need any more of it, there's probably some things that have been announced or that have come to market or they're coming to market that people are interested in. This is as much a conversation for the chat as it is for the three of us. But I thought we would kind of do some of the favorite gear from this year that we want to talk about. And then towards the end of the show, we'll get in and jump into this trivia thing and give out some prizes. So do either of you want to go first? I can go first. It doesn't really matter to me, and just talk about some of the kit that we really like. Yeah. Ben, I see something happening over there.
No, I'm just thinking that there's one of the things that I think you're going to talk about, which I'd like to talk about, but I think if you talk about it first, that will probably be a better thing.
Okay. So I'll just go.
So talk about the thing that Ben's thinking you have that he has, Jem.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but I'm just going to go through essentially 4 product categories of things that, for me, I think are interesting. That I think some of this stuff I'm planning on getting, some of it I might be using, and I'll just bang through it really quickly, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Okay.
So number 1 on the list is really in a which one is the first one on the list? What category is it? It's this. It's the Axoon CineView Master 4K. It's a wireless transmitter receiver system. It's got 3 bands on it. It's a 2.4, it's 5, and it's 6 gigahertz. So it's a tri-band system. It can go all the way up to, without anything in the way, 2.5 kilometers. And I think the feather in its cap is that it is a 4K 60 system. So you can actually wirelessly transmit 4K 60, very low latency. And I have them over here, but they're really interesting also, especially for the transmitter. Oh, sucker. There it is. There it is. The things that you can do in terms of configurations with the transmitter, going to multiple iOS devices, to wired, wirelessly to different things. It's really, it's not small. I mean, I think Ben will probably echo what I'm saying. It's it's not a tiny little system here, but the capabilities of what it's what it can do are pretty remarkable. So I don't know if you want to just jump in and talk about a little bit from your experience, Ben. I haven't really been using it much yet, but I have done, some stuff. Yeah.
Same test. So that the amazing thing is having it. So I've bought it because I've got a job coming up which I'm going to be directing on, and I wanted to set up a director's monitor setup. But clients are going to be there in their droves, so I can have this going on, which I also want to talk about in a minute. And then you can simultaneously be sending to this and 3 iOS or Android devices. So your clients can be on their iPads, iPhones, etc., and be monitoring through the Axoon app. And there's no lag, really no lag at all. The latency is incredible.
Really?
Yeah, wow. With all of that going on simultaneously, and you've got pass-throughs, and it's a really, really good system. But I say I haven't used it
Nice.
on a job yet. I've just been testing. But the cool thing that this is on a sort of a budget director's monitor setup.
Yeah, which monitor is that? It's like an iFeel World or something. What is that?
Port
That's a
keys,
10-inch,
port
right?
keys. It looks like.
Is that a
It's an
10-inch?
HS8. No, it's an 8-inch.
Okay.
But here's the beauty of this monitor is that it has this little power pass through on the back. So it has
Oh,
a
that's right.
MPF which you can rotate.
We can't see it. Oh yeah, here. Yeah, there you go. Okay.
So
Yep.
you focus. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. I'm going the wrong way.
Yeah.
No, no. So
The
it
thing
clamps
behind
on
the yellow knob, maybe.
the thing behind the yellow knob. So you can clamp that on through the MPF. So the pass through goes from this battery, whether the monitor's turned on or not. That feeds power to the wireless system.
Send me a link to that monitor.
It's really, really neat, and it's about, I don't know, be $350, I guess, something like that. It's
nice.
not.
How
it's
many
not
nits?
touchscreen.
How many nits?
It's is it one? It's just over 1,000.
Okay, so it's daylight. It's daylight.
Legit.
Yeah, it's metal. It's got these glass covers on it, and they're removable. And it comes with 3 of them, I think. And then I just bought some.
Oh, nice.
Some little handles, and it's pretty good. As a
it looks
basic,
larger than an 8-inch monitor, but maybe that's just because the housing is larger. I think it's maybe that the screen is 8 inches.
8 yeah, there's a big bezel on it, and that's a metal construction, or largely metal construction, and dual battery plate on it as well, so you can hot swap those batteries and you keep the wireless system going. So it seems really good. We'll see how it fares on this job next week. But
yeah, because I'd love to do it on like a 10-inch monitor. For me is sort of ideal for that kind of stuff. But the small HD one is not inexpensive. There are some 10-inch ones that are pretty affordable. Definitely send me a link to that though, because that looks very cost effective, very reflective. So sunshade maybe, or some sort of screen cover or something. But
there's definitely compromises with it. The fact that it's not touchscreen is a slight pain. However, it's got 4 buttons on the top which are customizable, so you can knock on your peak. I mean, I've got it set for peaking, for zebras, for whatever. You can set all that up. It's good. Yeah, good value.
Good. Second
Super cool
one for me. This one, which is the new Shark Slider Nano 2 from iFootage. I have one here. It's to my left. And what's really interesting about it is they've really done a pretty big upgrade. If you're not familiar with that particular product, the original product looked very similar to this. And forget about the Ronin part of it for now. We'll talk briefly about that. But the idea behind it is that it not only has a motorized slider, but it also has a motorized panning head, and it's all built into the unit. So you literally just have to, put, a small head on there just to hold a camera, and then it will actually pan and it will slide with USB-C, with an NPF battery, whatever it is. And what's really cool about it is that in the original one, which was still pretty great, you would basically disengage the motors temporarily, and you would set your camera and you would basically pan it, and you would set it where you wanted it on the slider and then press a button. You can use the app, but you can do it right on the touchscreen. And then that's your first point. And then you just slide the camera and then you pan it to where you want the camera to point to for the next, keyframe, we'll call it. And then you set the B point, and then it will basically just go between those two. And it doesn't matter where the A and B points are, it will just go between those 2 points. So there's no parallax type of system like you have on some of the older Kessler parallax system, or the top rig one from Axoon, which is actually very good and very, good for the money. But having pan and slide built in is great. The new system has upgraded the weight capacity considerably, so you can definitely go with digital cinema cameras that have some heft. They make it in two lengths, a short one and a longer. So there's a 40 and a 60 centimeter. But now you can program up to 8 keyframes or points within your move just by moving the camera, and then it'll automatically do that. And then the app gives you a little bit more control. But the feather in the cap with the system is that there is actual contacts built into the system now, and you can attach and use um, it's like I think 4 or 5 of the different DJI Ronins are compatible with the system. So then you can add a Ronin and it automatically lets you communicate with the Ronin. So now you have all those additional axes that are available.
So you can keyframe the Ronin's
Yes.
moves as well. So you can put
Yes.
even tilts and
Yes. Yep. And rolls. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's very cool.
And it'll do, I
Wow.
think it's like the DJI, it's like one of the Ronin 2s, 1 or 2 of the Ronin 3s, and a couple of the 4s. And I think it has to do with the contacts and how they built the particular Ronins communication-wise. But iFootage worked directly with DJI, iFootage and DJI to make this all work. So it's not just like a hack, it was a collaboration. So I think that's a pretty unique,
That's cool.
Sliders are, they have their place. We're not seeing a lot of B camera slider shots anymore, thank God. But I think when you're doing tabletop and B-roll and inserts, it definitely has a place. I don't know why somebody's at Jem. Just getting some monitor stuff. Let me bang through the rest of mine. The next category
just before you do quickly, how much is that slider?
$6.99 or $6.49.
Wow,
$6.49.
man.
$6.49.
That's cheap.
And that's with the 2 motors. This is the 40 centimeter version, and then there's a 60, which is a longer track, obviously. It's really, really quiet, and I'm pretty impressed. They definitely did, like, they took their time and they did a real version 2 rev. So it's pretty impressive, I have to say.
Nice.
Wow.
But the Zeopons are great, the Axuns are great, but this is really the uniqueness of it is not only that it has the built-in slide and pan, but the fact that they've now put this whole communication system in, because a lot of people have Ronins. So, if you can add a Ronin to that and have another element of motion control, I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so the next one for me is cameras. I think that for me personally, and I've been thinking about this a lot recently, that it's sort of 2 cameras. It's the Canon EOS C80 and the C400. I've been loving the Sony cameras I've been using for the past year and a half, and I think they're great. And that doesn't discount the FX30, A7C II, FX3, or the 6 or the 9. But just looking at where I'd be going with corporate production and stuff, I think the fact that those 2 cameras both have the same sensor, they both have the same triple ISO, they're virtually the same camera, just in different bodies, with a few differences between them, kind of makes it a really interesting A-B camera situation. But I think anybody could just go 2 C400s or 2 C80s. And we've kind of hit a ceiling, I think, to a degree on these digital cinema cameras, except for resolution. Resolution is the one thing that certain cameras are going to be better at for creating content for the Sphere or large venue projection or volumes or things like that. But for the most part, these 6K sensors, that can capture in 6K or 5.9K, largely for 4K production, capturing in 4K. We've kind of gotten to a point, I think. Hey Chris, good to have you. So I think from a camera standpoint, I'm not saying there aren't other fantastic cameras on the market, but I think Canon definitely seemed to be pretty aggressive. $5,500 and $8,000 US, and there's not a lot that people would want beyond that with those cameras, but of course, there's lots of cameras out there. So I think those are probably my picks. And then the last one is lighting. And unfortunately, I haven't gotten to use it yet. I've spent a lot of time on a Zoom and talking to Tim Kang and just going back and forth and stuff. But I think that this Storm 1200X from Aperture while there's a lot of amazing fixtures on the market, to me, that is kind of finally hitting that sweet spot of, could you invest in a key light that you could use on like 95% of your jobs for virtually
Right.
anything that you need to use? And a 1200 watt unit like that, with their updated, light engine and really focused on white light, to me, that is kind of a big step. And we're starting to see other manufacturers do their own versions. KinoFlow has their new Icon light, which is a panel light. They're doing it differently with like the way they're doing the blues to handle stuff. But people are starting to figure out the LED thing now, in terms of having better spectrum and simulating what cameras are looking for, which is generally mostly tungsten and daylight, right? Those are the two color temperatures that they really have been tuned for in the past. So I'm kind of excited about that, and that's my picks.
Nice.
That's what I got. Yep. Love to hear stuff from other people in the chat. And Caleb, any equipment this year besides the stuff that you've been working on with Cineback and everything else that you're really, and Camera Foundry stuff that you're interested in?
Yeah. So it's funny. I think a lot of this stuff is on last year's. Favorite camera is still the A7 IV. It's pretty old at this point, but I love the A7C2, but there's something about having full-size HDMI and doors and all the other stuff that comes with a larger body. Really digging just the good old 24-70. This is not the newer version from Sony, just the G Master, the original. Just a 24-70, just kind of back to basics. The Athenas, the Primes, still really digging those. Actually, I didn't block my face, don't I? And right here is something I've been playing with. This is the Breakthrough Photography, which is hilarious that that's their business. It's their DFM system. So it's a PL mount to E mount with interchangeable filters. So there's an ND. And I modded this cage to actually make it fit. But that essentially gives me, ND on the FX3. So loving that. Really high quality machining, very, very nice. Lots and lots of filter options. A handle. This is this will be an upcoming video. This is a XH2S, kind of turn into a monstrous cine body.
Beautiful.
With Cineback, got to have a plug, right? But this top handle from Mid 49 is awesome. So it actually, what's interesting about it is you can extend it. So you can see there's like a module back here. You can have a huge one that wraps around the entire camera. It has a really nice 15 millimeter rod attachment on the front, but it uses Arca Swiss for how it attaches to the camera. So you can bolt it down through, or I have this, I'm going to do this one-handed, this quick release. I don't know if you can see that there on top of Cineback here. So I just drop it in and one-handed lock the whole thing down. Super nice handle. Really, really dig it. It's not, I still one day want to design my own handle, but this is probably the closest to perfect, in my opinion. So love that.
Yeah, it's amazing, after this little sabbatical that he took after essentially selling Hidden Camera to, as part of Creative Solutions into Videndum, whatever it was called before that, which was Vitek Group. And then he started Mid 49, which I think is awesome. And coming up with some stuff that's still unique, which I think is awesome. Hey, Mad for Hardware. So I think that's
he's
great.
Crushing it. He's crushing it. Really unique stuff, too. Then there's some lights. So one's right here. I'll zoom out a little bit.
Yeah.
This is not new, but it's the Forza 60C2.
One of my favorites.
With the lens, the little Leica, and I've been loving this. There's another one doing kind of a line back there.
Why do you say two?
Yeah,
is that the one that has the they didn't update in terms of wireless communication, but I think it's the same as the
I'm
original.
sorry. That's
right?
I think that's the. I have the color, the non-color too.
Okay.
I got them all mixed up. This is
But
just the color.
that is one of my favorite lights. Period.
Yeah,
I
it's
should have
great.
talked about that.
Super tiny.
It's been out since last year. Yeah, and it's RGB ACL.
Yeah.
It's the only one that Nanlite has that's RGB ACL.
Interesting. Yeah. So I love that with the Caleb Pike signature 212 watt.
Yeah.
Because I can just crank this full power all day long. Got another one here in case anyone wants to, to see that. But nice. Just unbelievable amounts of juice. So I just leave it on 100%. Yeah, actually, I don't think this one's gone down at all so far. So right now it's at 74% full crank, and I can go for another 3 hours at 74%. So yeah, love those lights. And then really wild light. Let me grab it. Hang on one second.
Okay.
Talk amongst yourselves real quick.
Yeah. All right, waiting for that. That 60C, by the way, goes on every job that I do now. And it is the edge or kicker light. We're taking the XH2S out tomorrow, but for still stuff. So that's cool. All right, let's see this, Caleb. What size is this thing and who makes it?
So this is a 4x4.
Yeah.
By they used to be or still are Falcon Eyes.
Yeah.
Kind of, except a different. It's a Aparo, APARO, and it's essentially a air mattress. So you can see that it's an air mattress, and on the other side there's one of these installed right here, and it's a little like module that plugs in, and then you have 3 buttons on it: deflate, inflate, and then an off button. It's USB-C rechargeable.
Nice.
So I just leave it in there. And this thing, I haven't pumped it up in months, and it's still
really
doing great. Yeah, I just leave it fully set up.
That's a big deal.
So this is a 4x4. They have a 2x4, 4x4, 4x8, and then hopefully soon I'll have the 8x8, and then I'll do a video on them all. But I mean, I'll turn it on here. RGB WW.
Do you know the street price on that sucker? By any chance?
I don't yet. Yeah, okay. I think they're available now, but I mean, unbelievably soft. Super soft light. And at those sizes. So this is officially as close as I've been able to find to like my ideal perfect light, where I don't have any sandbags on this stand. On the back, there's like a aluminum. You can see the blue there. Just a frame that threads into the light. So it's an LED mat that shoots through a clear air mattress with a zippered front here. But it's just
how small does it fold up? Does that roll up? How small can you get that down when it's packed down?
It folds. The case it comes in is giant, so it's not tiny. You could use your own case, but I mean, it's going to be a 4-foot package because those bars are 4 feet.
They don't break down.
But I got a 20-inch.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a full 4-foot single piece of aluminum. But I've just got a 20-inch arm here holding the whole thing without a sandbag. And then the controller is hilariously big. Whoops. It's a touch screen as well.
Okay.
So
that's bright. But is there a grid?
Yeah, full. Yep, comes with a grid.
Okay.
I'll switch it to HSI. Yeah, and you can just touch on the touch wheel. So they're bright, real soft, but just roll it around is like the perfect interview setup. And I love that 4x4. There's so many lights that are just not quite big enough.
Yeah.
So yeah, the controller acts as kind of like the weight on that, but the thing just glides real easy around the studio for a key light.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
There's another one over there. Well, it's blocked by this, isn't it?
So you have 2 of the 4x? You can do damage with those.
There's a 2x4 back there. The bluish light kind of just hitting the ceiling.
Very nice.
Same thing. It's just on a rolling stand, just roll it around. So yeah, really excited about that form factor, lighting wise.
Very cool.
So I think that's about it for me. Just some new lights and
we're 1:45 the hour. Ben, what about you? What kit besides the Axoon? Anything else exciting for you before we jump into trivia and anybody in the chat?
Yeah. No, mine will be quite quick. I've not been massively excited by anything this year. I guess there's not been things that I've needed. I've not been looking, and we've had this discussion before that I'm just not quite as excited by gear as I used to be. However,
Yep.
just a few little things that I think have been just useful little bits and pieces. I've been traveling a lot. I've been working offshore a lot, which means working on boats. So that's sometimes traveling by helicopter to things. It's keeping things very compact, keeping things very robust or disposable, I suppose, more than robust into an extent that you can't be too precious about a lot of things. So just I was on the road. I was 3 weeks solidly on one vessel for a while. So things just like that little portable OWC Thunderbolt hub that comes with me everywhere. Like that thing just saves so much time that I didn't used to travel with. And you're plugging things in, the speeds of everything, and then throttled way down. And so like that's something so small and insignificant that's just a massive help. And then lighting wise, you're talking about the Nanlite 60, which is fantastic. But I bought the really cheap kind of the small rig RC60, just the bicolor ones without the RGB on it. That's such a useful thing that it's so small into the camera bag, running off the USB again like yours. So, and I just take that with a brolly. So that's what's lighting me now. That it's just something that's in the bag the whole time that you can do quick and dirty setups. It's not the best thing, but it's a really easy thing to set up, and I've used it so much on offshore things, just things that I might have been having to find a window or something where I've just got no room and no room in the kit to be lighting stuff. So that's just been a handy tool, very cheap little bit of kit. And really that, otherwise it's just the things that we've already talked about, the HS8 and the Axoon kit.
Yeah, CineView Master 4K.
Yeah, and cameras wise, little, just very briefly, I still really like the R5C. I nearly bought another one, but I was so umming and ahhing about that. The C80, because I still do still stuff, so having the R5Cs is really good, but it's compromised in its form factor. To be decided, but I'll probably go for one of those two.
Nice.
And that's more or less
bound to get
updated
year. Soon, right?
Yeah, you would. Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Bill says, before we jump into Trivia Land, and it's a big question. I think really, Bill, this is going to have to do with different types of camera formats. But what do you guys think is the best bang for your buck camera out there right now in regards to dynamic range, picture quality, and ergonomics? Economics as well, though. I think it depends. If you're looking for a mirrorless camera, the first question is autofocus essential, right? Because when you look at something like the camera that Caleb just showed, the XH2S from Fujifilm, like it's an amazing mirrorless camera. It's not going to be what you need from an autofocus standpoint, but that 6.2 open gate, ProRes recording, those film simulations, it's a pretty dang awesome camera. Pound for pound in a mirrorless camera, unless you need a hybrid, I still don't think you can beat the FX30. It's often a $1,600 camera, and it still blows my mind what that's capable of. R5C, amazing. FX3 doesn't excite me that much because of the megapixels, and I don't love that when you go to Super 35 on that camera, you drop to 1080. I think that's the Achilles heel of that camera for me, and so I would probably go with something different for a full frame mirrorless. But then when you jump into the next category, which are digital cinema cameras, then there's so many choices now. I mean, you've got the C70 and the C80, you've got the FX6, you jump to the C400, you've got the Red Komodo in there again, and the Komodo X if you're not looking for autofocus. Some of the Blackmagic stuff is compelling, but it just doesn't draw me in the same way. And then and then you get into your FX9s and some of the higher end Blackmagic ones, and then the jump goes to Burano and the other stuff. But maybe pound for pound, something like a C400. That's sort of like that middle ground. It sort of has all of the core ingredients, but you have to decide. RF mount is a thing, and if you've invested in a lot of lenses, it's very easy to go to EF mount on that camera. But I think people are investing in that because of RF, but that's a whole other investment in terms of lenses. Any thoughts from you guys on that at all? Anything?
No, I pretty much agree with what
Camera-wise?
you said. Really,
I mean, it's so many choices now. It's kind of crazy. So I don't have a straight answer to that.
just on the camera front, very briefly, with Fuji bringing out or announcing sort of without the full amount of detail, medium format cinema camera. I'd just like to say I hope there are copies of that camera coming all our ways, seeing as it was our idea that they finally listened to us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
welcome,
I do
Fuji.
too. Yeah. You're welcome.
Years we've
I hope it's a multi-aspect sensor. So
I really do
use
too.
Smaller glass.
I do, and they handle the readout issue, which is clearly a problem for the 100.
Yeah.
They say 2025. Are they talking like January, February 2025, or are they going to spend some more? Because they've already been working on that camera, let's be honest, for a couple of years. I don't think they're far off from that camera coming to market, but that's just me.
I think it's a long way off still. Like
You
when
do?
when you heard when I saw interviews with people from Fuji with it, and
Yeah.
I think it was maybe Matt from New Shooter that was interviewing them, and he's asking them all this stuff, and they said, I don't know.
Well, I really hope it is a long ways
know.
off, because I really hope they spend more time. I've been there with companies. I remember with the it's an AF 100, I guess, from Panasonic, or one of those cameras that came to market. And we were in a room and they passed around like a mock-up made of styrofoam. And what do you think about that? Everybody hated it. I've talked about this before. And they had already made the camera. It was like, they wanted to get some feedback on how it might be received. But that camera came out like not long after that. They might as well have just passed around a mock-up of the actual camera, but whatever. That's a different day, a different discussion. Okay, kids. So we got some prizes here. We're going to do a little trivia. The trivia questions are provided today by Mr. Caleb Pike and Mr. Ben Barden. And we've got 3 prizes that are available. So everybody hold on to your hats. If you've won in the last 8 weeks, please don't answer. And you have to have a U.S. address. Notice I said U.S. address, okay? Has to be shippable to U.S. address. That's all I'm saying about it. It's just the way it works with B&H. They can't ship internationally for these types of contests and stuff like that. And then the rest is up to you guys. So does anybody from our side have the YouTube chat up? Can they pop that out? Because sometimes what I get in Ecamm isn't always right, and we call the wrong person for the right answer because there's a delay or latency.
And also it's pub quiz rules, no Googling, obviously.
Oh no, I know. Yeah, there's an honor system here, but I say it every single time we do this. You're not Googling. You're not looking this up. Stop prompting. Yes, it's in the noggin, and you may not know the answer, and that's okay. But I have a few questions here, and I think I know which one's gonna be the last one. I think I know which one's gonna be the first one, and then I think the second, and then we have a couple of backup ones just in case. And we got a bonus one from Caleb, no matter what, even though there may not be a prize attached to it. You guys ready for this? Let's go. Okay, even if you're not. All right, first prize is going to be this RA microphone isolation chamber. I personally have this, and I have to say that they have a larger version of it, and I find that this is the one that I go back to all the time. And if you take something like that Rode articulating arm, you can hang it off of that on the desk. You just get, a condenser type mic, and you put that in there, and it does a great job of isolating the sound. So it's $100. Let's go ahead and get into the question here. Again, this is the prize. At the end of this, what you're going to do is you are going to email challenge@thec47.com with your name, address, your phone number, and also the prize that you won. And then I send that off to B&H, and they are very fast, actually, once I actually send it off to them, of getting that stuff out the door. So it's a good thing. All right, first question. This one comes from, I believe, Ben. This is the easy one for the first prize this
Christmas
week.
films.
It's a Christmas film. Who played George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life? And you have a choice of the first name that you want to choose, and we want to see who's going to be first. Let's go. Who played George Bailey in It's a Wonderful Life? It'll be playing on repeat very soon. Let's hear the Angels' bells.
Jay
Come on.
Stewart.
Come on. Okay,
Full
come on.
name.
Full name? Wow. Okay. Wow, Shoji. Like, it really just sort of, I mean, is that
Dick Van Dyke.
Did somebody say that? It hasn't come through yet.
What is Moby? Jimmy Stewart.
Very nice. Oh my goodness.
Jimmy Stewart.
James Stewart. Authentic for me.
Well, this is a tough one because I think Shoji came in with an answer before everybody else.
Yeah.
And then he came back and he quickly came in pretty quickly. Is that what we're seeing? Okay. So Shoji Productions,
sure.
You're the winner. You're getting that RA mic isolation chamber. You won't be able to fit inside of it if you're thinking about that. I don't know why I even said that, but it's yours for the taking. So send an email to challenge@thec47.com and away we go. And Jess is there in the wings telling me who won.
Adjudicating. Perfect. Hi, Jess.
All right, perfect. All right, let's get down to business. Second prize for the week. It's a three-parter, actually. It's a 60-inch octagonal softbox from Impact, and it comes with a bonus grid. And I'm also including the Impact Bowens S mount. Why? Because that's the most popular one. So you get a big softbox, a grid, and a Bowens mount. That's the deal. So that's the second one, and I think this is yeah. So I'm going to ask you, Caleb. Should we go? I think both of these are yours. Which is a Die Hard one? Who's Die Hard?
That was me.
Is that you, Caleb? That was you. Okay. And then we have the Empire one. I'm just trying to. I think that the Empire one might be slightly harder, so we're going to do the Die Hard one. So here we go. Another Christmas movie. And by the way, it is definitely a Christmas movie.
It
and if you
absolutely
don't
is.
think it is, then screw you. You're sorry, Cassie. I didn't say that. What alias does Hans Gruber use to introduce himself to John McClane in Die Hard? In your noggin, people. Stop Googling. Honor system here. What's the name? Come on. Who's first? What alias does Hans Gruber use to introduce himself to John McClane in Die Hard? Come on.
There's good.
I see the
Sam.
right answer. Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, you're in. You're it. Bill Clay. I love. Cruz almost came in. David, how much are you drinking today? Pee-wee. What's going on over here? That's crazy. Okay. Well, we have a winner. So you're winning the you can just put softbox with grid and challenge@thec47.com. That's the second one. We've got our third one. Our third prize for the week is this, which is a Rugged 80-liter dry cabinet. So, depending on where you live, this is perfect for people who are in New Orleans. You live in Louisiana or something. But you put your cameras and your lenses in there, and it's a controlled environment, keeps everything the way it should be. And, there it is. It's a dry cabinet.
Dry cabinet. Sounds like something that an alcoholic would
keeps
live in.
it basically, well, maybe, but it keeps all the humidity out of it, and you set it to a particular humidity level, and then you're good to go. So you just put your stuff in there, and why not? I got a
Nice.
couple out there. The temperature changes all the time, so I've got a couple in there, and I put my lenses and stuff in there, and there you go. Okay, here we go. Last question for the actual prize. I know, good Jeff, you won last month though. Here it is. So the more granular you can get in your answer, the better. But obviously, it's also how fast you can type to win. Here's the question. I'll call this a Christmas movie because the beginning starts on a very cold planet, right, Caleb? I mean, it's freezing cold. There's a lot of snow. Let's just call it a Christmas movie. It isn't. In The Empire Strikes Back, arguably the best Star Wars film that's ever been made, but we will not say anything other than that. How many times is "It's a trap" said, and by whom? Okay. How many times is "It's a trap" said, and by whom? And you got to get specific here. It's sort of like a multi-part answer. So here we go. In The Empire Strikes Back, how many times is "It's a trap" said, and by whom? No Googling. Brad already said 3. Yeah, but by whom, Brad? You could be the winner over here, unless you've won recently. By whom? Okay, that's you're halfway there. You're on the back end of the movie, but let's go. Okay. Mitch Gross. Chris, why did Mitch Gross? What is going on? I already talked about Aperture. What's going on here? That's pretty funny. Chris Delapace, as I like to say, once a year. Chris Delapace. We're still not here with an answer. Brad is the closest, but we're not where we need to be. And we're not getting specific enough. So, Brad, if you come back in with a little more information, you could win. So could Cruz. Still waiting. TikTok. What do you got to say, Caleb? Okay. Yeah, that's also a partial answer. Nate's film tutorials. You got to have a complete answer. I think you're muted, Caleb. Caleb, you're muted. I don't know. There, I hear something now. Oh, yeah. Well, that built-in battery thing. We know about that. That's a whole other
I just
discussion.
watched your video on this setup with the 4 points of failure, that like the 4 redundancies on it, except for power.
I can barely hear you. Megan says, "Why no romantic comedy questions?" Well, Megan, I don't know what's going on here. How long are we gonna? We're gonna go to another question if we don't get an answer soon. What were we gonna say, Ben?
So I nearly did one on, I don't know. Oh, my brain's gone blank. What kind of A Wonderful Life sort of falls into that category, doesn't it? Not quite.
Into what category? Yeah,
it's more like a romantic thing.
No,
it's not.
Okay. Wait, Brad, you went away for a long time. I'm gonna. Nope, that's not correct. Okay, everybody's close, but we're not there. So I'm waiting. Big Star Trek crowd. Funny. Delapace. Okay. Yeah, there you're back. You're back. Hello,
check.
Sir. 1 2 1 2. Check.
So
next question.
From what I saw, okay, Brad is so close. I think we just got to give it to Brad.
Really? But it's not correct. I'm trying to type on
he's
phone.
up to 4 now.
Yeah, that's the problem.
All right, 3 is the number, so Brad had that at the top.
Oh, wait. Do you agree? Is it Shaddai?
Oh my goodness.
Or Sade? Are we wrong or right? This is your question, Caleb.
Did I just mix
this up? You have to go do your research. I don't know. You got to go do your research.
Oh, I totally failed you guys. Back-to-back 2 nights was staying with someone who had watched both movies, and I think I just mixed them up. Wow.
Okay. All right. We're going
Empire,
in for the next one.
Leia 2. Yep. Sorry,
so do we have a correct answer? Do we have a correct answer?
Akbar in Return 1.
Okay.
So Bradish.
Yeah, we don't have a correct answer. All right, we're out. Okay, next question. Are you guys ready? This one's a real curveball, and if somebody gets this, I don't know the answer to this, but if you get it, it's great. Which company in our industry sadly disappeared around 2016, 2017? The hint is great hair, terrible choice in fonts. Great hair, terrible choice in fonts. And I don't know what's happening with my mind here, because once I hear the answer and it's
Yeah,
correct, I'm going to be like,
I haven't got it either.
yeah. So I'm really feeling pretty dumb here. Okay, kids.
Well, at least you didn't
I
mix
feel
up 2 Star Wars movies and then get asked by Jem before the show. You got the number and it's accurate, right? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I didn't ask you that. We didn't have that discussion. Yeah.
Yeah,
Are we ready for this?
totally did.
Okay. Which company in our
Anybody?
industry sadly disappeared in
Should I give a
2016,
category?
2017? Yeah, give a cat. Yeah.
All right.
We haven't gotten an answer
In
yet.
the audio industry.
Ooh. In the audio
Really?
industry.
I thought you would have been all over this, Jem.
I know.
So 2016, 2017 just vanished, just disappeared.
But wait a minute. I think I know the answer to this, but I guess he did have great hair. The only other hint I'm going to give you guys, if I'm correct on this, is think engineer, right? Very much an engineering type. And kind of solo effort in a way.
Maybe not
or it
great hair,
appeared
but like
that
he
way.
had lots of
No, I know.
solid
Am I
hair.
thinking?
Yeah.
Mm,
Another hint, orange.
Yep. I think I'm on the right track here.
Tiny, tiny knobs.
The smallest. And if you ever got in Mitch Cross, Stella Pace, if you ever got in the conversation with this gentleman, it was probably hours. Like you'll never get those hours of your life back. But a very interesting fellow,
Nice guy,
and probably made the best solution for audio for DSLR cameras that existed. But how many dip switches and knobs do you need to get it to work correctly? Sometimes a lot. 9
tiny,
volt,
very bright LED lights.
very bright LED lights. Come on, kids. I think he was based in California.
Fruit.
Yeah.
Fruit's another hint.
Yeah. Anybody
No.
for this rugged case? Okay.
I'm really thirsty for some juice.
DSLR film noob. Oh my god. No, it was a real audio company. They made a number of products, and they had by far the quietest preamps that you could get at the time for a DSLR best. Look, Sound Devices was around, but if you were looking for something to get XLR based microphones into a DSLR and you need to bypass the
There
crap.
it is, Brad.
Oh,
Yay.
That's close enough, right?
Don't read, Cassie. Cover eyes, okay?
There he is. All right,
you win. Okay, Brad, and you kind of deserve to win, Brad, because you came in on the other one.
Yeah, he did. He was
so
close
Brad,
on it,
challenge
Killed
at the
it, Brad.
c47.com.
Great work.
Juice link. There it is. Still have him. Beautiful. Okay, well there you go. That's it for the challenge for everybody. We are past our time. It was fantastic, as always, to have everybody here. We'll be back in January. I'll talk to the gents about their availability in terms of when we can do that. Any last words from you, Ben, before we sign off on our year-end Camera and Flask episode?
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. See you all in January. Much love.
Beautiful. Caleb.
It's another year. This one flew.
Yeah.
It's kind of just poof. But glad to have spent some of it with you guys, and hoping we can catch up in person next year. And appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's been a good one.
Yeah, same. Appreciate everybody's engagement and the community we have here on this channel, albeit small, important, and I appreciate you tracking with the daily drop, the weekly live streams, And of course, to two of my best friends in the world, Caleb and Ben, thank you for everything. Love you guys. Have great holidays with your family and friends. That's to both of you and to everybody here. And I'll be back with more live streams this month on the channel, but we'll be back sometime in January with Camera and Flask. And again, thanks everybody for your support and for coming to hang out for an hour every week. Laters. Take care. All the best.
Merry Christmas. Happy
Bye.
New Year.